up, guys, and welcome back to Gabe Miller Music. As you can see by the couple of devices and the absolute rat's nest of cables I have before me, today's video is all about making music with the Novation circuit tracks and the Arturia MicroFreak. I have one of the MIDIs fed into the MicroFreak, and then I have the audio of the MicroFreak fed back into the circuit, so I can use them kind of as one hybrid device. I would use a second device, but I am short a MIDI cable, so that will have to wait for another video. So in the meantime, let's just focus on these two devices and make a bunch of beats from scratch starting now. This first beat won't be completely from scratch. I was messing around with this earlier, loaded on a bunch of synth patches and a new slate of samples, and started just messing around with sounds. Ended up coming up with this little loop. Let me just turn this guy all the way down. Definitely a solid start. I want to take this a whole lot farther. Let me quickly walk you through the elements. Got a kick. I've got a snare. And that is shifted ever so slightly forward using microsteps, kind of as per usual with these types of house tracks. Hi-hat using sample flip. And finally, a couple of effects. That was really the starting point for this whole thing that made me want to turn it into more of a full beat. And finally, a bass. However, I want to take this a lot farther. I've already gone ahead and copied this to MIDI 1. First thing I want to do is send this down an octave. And from here, I'm probably going to pull up a preset and go from there. But what I really want to take advantage of is wavetables. This is a decent starting point. That's kind of interesting. So that's not bad. I kind of want to break away from two parts playing the same thing, because that's boring and doesn't take full advantage of what this thing's even capable of. Let me go to a previous patch. Oh, there we go. So then this guy can get repurposed for something else entirely. Maybe be some kind of supporting layer. We're really channeling our inner 2005 here. And honestly, it's an era of electronic music that I kind of miss. By the way, for those of you curious which packs I'm using, the pack I'm using is actually two packs kind of mashed together. It is the Vapor Dream pack by Big City Great Decay and the Dread Step Up pack by LDM Design. And then the drums are a mixture of drums from my $5 sample pack, link in the description, and stuff I got off of Splice. So I've got a whole other synth track that I can still fill up, so let's do that now. Something more frenetic, maybe? Not frenetic enough for you? So that's cool. That last layer is a little superfluous, but it at least gives you an idea of what I'm going for. So let's just move on and call this good. I could always come back to this later if I wanted to, bearing in mind which preset I had pulled up. And I'll need to make a mental note to save presets as I go here, because if I don't, I won't really be able to come back to the sessions. That's a bit different, bit of a change that'll take some getting used to. But to be clear, I definitely like what it allows you to do. Make some more weird electro, like vaporwavy type stuff. Yeah, maybe that needs to change. Leaving that aside for now, let's jump into MIDI. And I'm actually going to see if I can find something interesting here. Whew. This is a modified version, I believe, of a factory preset. So let me tap a tempo out and record something before I lose it here. Simple, but probably effective once we get a few more layers going. And sorry, that click is super loud. I'll turn it off in a second. So maybe I can just make this effects track 4 bars long and have a bunch of stuff just switch out to keep some variation going. So I'm going to put this, I think this is an Andrew Huang sound, put that on the first step, and then go from there. Nice! Oh, that could be really cool. And we're back. My camera battery died, so I spent some time editing yesterday's video while I waited for it to charge, and now we're back to making music. I did do a little bit of circuit stuff off camera, so the main thing is this bass. I made the pattern half speed, that way it would ring out for double the time. I also sent drum 4, aka the percussion track, to the delay. So all together. So let's try to come up with another part here. Something to fill out the arrangement here. Maybe add a bit of harmonic interest. Then what I can do, duplicate this, set that pattern to be normal time, and then have that chord change at the very end. Also, one thing that you can do is set different micro timings for different notes, like if they're stacked, which is super neat. So I can set like a little strum thing. So this stays normal. This gets scooted forward. This gets scooted forward further. Nice. I'm going to do the same for the other patterns as well. So chain those 3 together, because this one's double the length, remember? So that'll still end up being 4 bars. Keep that subtle. Now that I've saved this, I'm going to try messing around with a few things. First of all, I want to see how these knobs affect the MicroFreak. I have not messed around with MIDI CCs at all yet, so we're going to see how this goes. Ooh. Too much. So this one would be an interesting change to make like over time. And also you noticed I increased the glide a little bit there by accident. I'm just going to roll with it. And I can even automate that if I wanted, which is super neat. So let's move on Let's create something else. And let's continue on the train of using the MicroFreak for inspiration. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this as our main lead, and then we're going to build something around that, something kind of 80s. So I've gone electro house, vaporwave-ish, 80s. So I've put both of these on the same track so that they'll both engage the sidechain, and then these other tracks are just freed up, which is nice. Let's do that. Chain those independently, so that only comes around every 2 bars. And then let's see if I can figure out how to get a clean step automation. Not quite. That will work. Also, let's see about some pan automation. Nice. That's something that I believe a user of the original circuit like figured out how to make it do, and now this is just natively built in, which is neat. Also note, I actually already do have an idea in mind for the chord progression and melody. I'm going to steal this from one of my old songs and kind of reimagine it here. That will work perfectly. Let's get some patterns going. Here we go. Okay, this is sick. Let's choose a preset for this as well. This might be a good one. I actually might want to switch out that patch, but let's save this real quick. There we go. There we go, that'll work. Now for the lead, using this dude. You know what, I'm just gonna try to record it and just see how this goes. Pretty sweet. And I've still got a whole other drum track to play with. What do I want to use it for? Just for effects. There we go, there's that ping pong delay. That is super nice. And here's the thing. I still have one more MIDI track. So what I'm thinking about doing once I have another MIDI cable in hand is programming in a little ARP part. And then I can bring that in here, maybe pan the chord stuff ever so slightly to the left, pan the hi-hats a little bit to the left, pan the ARP a little bit to the right, and then I'll have plenty to work with for an arrangement. But once again, that's coming later. I'm really happy with this one. Let's try to create one more beat. What's a style I haven't really done yet? Let's let this on a trap beat, because I can't resist. Oh, and you know what we could use for that as well? This sample. Let's do this. That's definitely a little unusual. Get some micro steps in here. And I only want that ratchet to happen once every 2 bars. Notice I haven't even touched the synth tracks yet. So I've got plenty more layering that I can do. What else can I add? Probably an ARP. Fairly simple, but here we go. Nice! I've still got one more synth track. 2 if I had another MIDI cable. Super simple, just fill out the whole beat. And that last one I'm gonna have be halftime, like that. So it's a little bit messy, mostly because of this 808. But this is definitely working for me. I've heard people say that the Nova synth engine and the MicroFreak synth engine both kind of stick out in a mix. I disagree, and I think I've managed to show that they can not only mesh well with each other, but sound fairly complete and like something you would hear on a proper track. And I really like how this is sounding. It definitely needs a bit more work to sound a bit cleaner, but hopefully you get the idea. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see my first day with the Novation circuit tracks and kind of my process of learning it, you can click or tap up over here. And if you'd like to see a very different workflow for me working with the MicroFreak and the Roland MC101, you can click or tap down over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit.